So my problem with this book, The Millionaire Next Door, this is a very popular book. It's one of the most best-selling books in the world of finance. It's extremely popular. If you look online, tons of people have done reviews of it. It's huge. It's an international bestseller. And essentially, the message behind this book is, if I were to summarize it, you can save your way into wealth, and you can save your way into being a net worth liquid millionaire. And there is absolutely some truth to that, and I think it's a great path for a lot of people to go. But here's the big lie that this author really should have shared in this book if he knew what the business world does for your finances and what running a business, a profitable business, can actually do for your lifestyle, for your finances, and for the financial decisions that you make as an individual. So let me start off by saying that if you don't agree with what I'm sharing in this video, that is likely a mindset issue regarding the way that you actually view and treat money. And I hate to say that because it's a bit more of an intangible thing. It's not so mathematically driven. It's not like I can pull out a spreadsheet and say, it's not that the S&P 500 is better than crypto, or those conversations are more mathematical, but this is more of a philosophical conversation and a conversation on how you actually regard money in the lens through which you treat it, view it, handle it, and invest it or spend it, or earn it. So that being said, let's dive in. This is the major lie of The Millionaire Next Door. Now, I'm going to be very honest, I've only read through about half of it. I need to finish it. It's an incredible book, and if anything, it's helping me be more frugal despite having, a nearly seven-figure profit business. Or it's a seven-figure profit business at this point, and this month alone, just for full transparency, it is September 27th, and I've personally profited about anywhere between $80,000 and $85,000 this month in the business. So, and that's not even really the peak of what we could do. We could very easily scale up to $200,000 to $300,000 to $400,000 a month, but there's other things that I am getting in place before we do that, which is a whole other video. That said, this book ignores the reality that once you've built a business, which is a series of systems that is designed to turn strangers into financial partners in whatever service it is you're providing. They pay you and you provide the service or the product or whatever it is that you do, right? A business really is a series of interactions with people that go from strangers to clients to happy clients to, getting the results that they desire, or, they may be buying products or whatever. Once you have that system set up, the only real bottleneck keeping you from making as much money as you want, besides the actual market that you're in, which is a big one that is, again, for a whole other video, is the systems that you've built and the bottlenecks that you have in your delivery process and your marketing process. It's the KPIs that you're working with, etc. So the problem with The Millionaire Next Door is effectively, once you've built the business, you have a money printing machine. And, the reality is, if I were to spend $10,000 on my business, I know for a fact that I will make about $25,000 back, if not $30,000 back. If I spend a certain amount of time on business, I know how much money that time is worth. And plus, that money compounds at a much faster rate than any investing vehicle will ever bring in. So the issue with The Millionaire Next Door is not one, I'm not even saying you shouldn't follow this book. This book is written for employees. A majority of the financial advice given to you by, the more popular, the Dave Ramsey types, they save your way into wealth, that advice is being given to your ordinary people with a job, a 9-to-5, where they're trading time for money. And even if they get paid, great. If you're getting paid $300,000 a year, but you've got a 9-to-5, at the end of the day, you are trading your time for money. Whereas with my financial system, the way that I run my business, I'm making this video right now. It's going to build trust and reciprocity with people, and maybe potentially some of them will work with us and join our services. You can see a list of testimonials we've got. You can meet the entire team. We've got a high-ticket, high-value program that helps people start or scale their existing consulting or coaching businesses. We're extremely good at it, and we've worked with about 500 people now, right? And so that's what we do, and it takes none of my energy to run the business. It takes systems. Energy to build those systems, like videos like this, or training the team, or investing into the right programs, working with the right mentors, reading the right books, taking the right actions to build momentum so that I can bring in honestly as much money as I want to bring in. It's interesting. I'm at a point now in my business where I have enough money in the bank where I'm truly just running the business out of a love for the business. I love serving the people that we serve. I love getting results for them, and I just enjoy it. I enjoy waking up and running this thing. It really is a passion project for me at this point, which happens to profit me extremely, extremely well. And so, again, my issue with the Millionaire Next Door is that it ignores that if you are an entrepreneur with a business that has any sort of a profit margin, then you effectively have a money printing machine. And all you have to do is get out of your own way, fix the mindset issues that are in your way, fix the systems that are in your way, fix the internal operational issues in your business, change the product, reword the messaging, have some better marketing, spend some more money on ads, or run some more organic posts. We help our clients fill their calendar with 3, 5, even up to 10 sales calls a day with organic, completely free strategies in many occasions so that they can continue to grow their businesses. And so the Millionaire Next Door, my issue with it is effectively that, look, even though you can absolutely save your way to wealth, and I'm not saying that that is a bad way to do it, I'm saying that it's not good advice for entrepreneurs, because the reality is, money is extremely fluid for entrepreneurs. It comes in and goes out like crazy. It comes in massive waves, and you make, I've got buddies who bring in $1 million, in a single week, and, then they spend a $500,000 the next week on more infrastructure, more coaching in their business. They hire more people. They invest into high-level masterminds, $200,000 masterminds, right? These groups that they can continue to sharpen and grow in their skills. And there are levels to this game, and I don't necessarily think that saving is actually the right vehicle. I think frugality mixed with having an incredible source of income is the right mix. So, another way of saying this is, in order to have a great upside in your business, you need to manage the downside. So what I'm not saying is that if you just have a lot of income that you'll infinitely get rich. Actually, you're more susceptible to spending more money, and I'm definitely not perfect at this. I have an issue with being frugal on a lot of occasions, but I'm working on it and I'm growing in that way. And can you blame me, right? I'm 21 and I just started a business and it's succeeding wildly. So can you really blame me? But that said, it's having an incredible income stream through a business model that you poured your heart and soul into, that profits you well, mixed with managing your downside, managing upside, growing it, investing in upside while managing downside, like taxes, like, overhead in your business. Lifestyle creep is a big one for a lot of entrepreneurs, because, income tax is actually a massive killer of a lot of entrepreneurs. It's not just, a $3,000 a month rent for your apartment. At the end of the year, that's, God knows what in taxes, right? So you got to understand the role of income taxes as well. So it's managing upside and investing in upside, as well as managing downside. A lot of people just focus on upside. The Millionaire Next Door focuses managing purely on downside. It does not talk at all about increasing your income. And that's also my issue with Dave Ramsey and all these sort of typical, financial advisors that are very popular in our culture. Is effectively says, look, once you've got a 6-figure a year income, invest 30% of it and wait 30 years. And to be honest, that is great advice and it will work, but it ignores the reality that we live in a time where it is as easy as ever to start and grow a successful business using the internet as leverage. This video right here, you're watching this right now, you're getting to know how I work, my thought processes. I'm building some trust with some people right now, and some of those people are going to inevitably work with us in our services. I'm making myself, who knows, probably minimum $50,000 right now with this video, with the amount of trust that it will build in the market and the value that it will bring, etc. And there will also be people who disagree. And so I'll actually be pushing away the wrong clients as well. So it's an interesting thing what the internet has done for business, and I don't think we've fully processed as a culture what that means for financial advice. And that's kind of my message is, look, the reality is the internet has changed things. It hasn't changed the base human principles that we operate with. It hasn't changed, how nature works, the laws of nature. It hasn't changed the base principles that govern reality, and it hasn't changed anything about human nature, but it has given you an incredible platform to build what is effectively the equivalent of a 500-person sales team in the form of a YouTube channel, right? Or, a 1,000-person employee base designed to coach clients one-on-one in the form of an online course, right? There are so many little pieces of leverage that the internet has brought to us that we haven't quite fully processed. And so my issue with the Millionaire Next Door is not in that it gives unwise advice. It's actually very, very wise advice. And I think it's a great book for any particularly young entrepreneur. I'm 21 right now, and if you're in that 18 to 25-year-old range, I think this book is really going to help you understand the value of frugality. But frugality is not the way to achieve that millionaire status. Frugality is simply a foundation that will allow you to minimize risk in your pursuit of attaining that millionaire status through a financial vehicle like a business. That is my honest advice. If you want to achieve the millionaire status in your 20s, which arguably I already have, if you look at the total net worth of everything, I'm well past the net worth millionaire status, then you should start a business. You should start a company, start selling something online, do the dirty work, spend 2 or 3 years of your life scraping by, figuring it out like I did, and on the other side, I promise you, it's going to be worth it. Myself, I've spent $150,000 on courses, education, coaches, people to work with, and that's what we do in our company. We help you start and grow your own business. So my issue, again, with the Millionaire Next Door is it does not recognize the amount of opportunity that the world is putting right in front of us to start and grow an incredible business. Not just an income stream, not just a lifestyle business, but something you can actually dig your teeth into and impact the world with while also bringing in a substantial income. So hopefully this all makes sense. And hopefully you can see, I'm really trying to come at this with a lot of humility because I'm a young guy. I'm 21 years old. And the reality is I don't have that much life experience. There's probably some 40, 50-year-old men that'll watch this video and say, well, Trey, I get what you're saying, but not everybody can run a business. And I want to challenge that very respectfully, that perspective that not everybody can run a business. Not everybody has the education. Not everybody has, the wherewithal. When I got started, I knew absolutely nothing. All I had was a father who was successful, and I refused to take anything, no money, no clients, no opportunity from him. And he was so far ahead that though there were some principles I got, I couldn't follow the coattails, right? I was just a total beginner. So I started my own business by investing into coaches, mentorships, guidance. I spent like $400 on my first course, $2,000 on the next, things like sales, marketing, offer building, training. And now I've got my own business. And the only leverage that I would say that I had is, again, that being raised with the right principles. And I think that is a form of privilege that I definitely have. But outside of that, anybody can start and grow their own business. If you can master your mind, if you can get serious about your own personal discipline, and you can invest into the right help, anybody can grow a business. So that being said, that's my problem with the Millionaire Next Door. I don't think it's actually that great of a book in terms of helping you achieve millionaire status. I don't think the title should be The Millionaire Next Door. I think it should be, the value of frugality and, basically the subtitle should be selling you on frugality, making you frugal. It should be a book that says, not The Millionaire Next Door, not how to achieve millionaire status. It should be, basically how frugality compounds over a lifetime and, adds an extra million or two to your net worth by the end of your life if you are properly frugal. And I do think that's a great message, but I don't think it's how you achieve millionaire status. It is almost like a backup plan. I have something like that. Right now, I have multiple whole life insurance policies that I'm placing a lot of capital into that will compound over time. They're invested into, different index funds, the S&P 500, the Eurodex, these sorts of not global, but nationwide index funds. I think it's called the Eurodex. I'm not actually completely sure, but it's the European equivalent of the S&P 500. That you've got the American S&P 500 and you have an Asian one. I don't really know what they're called, but it's split, and so odds are it's going to go up at about 7-9% a year. It is not how I'm going to make my wealth, though. It is literally just a backup plan, and it's because I've got all this money that I just don't know what to do with. I can't figure out how else to invest it other than just to put a bunch of it away. And at this rate, it should be worth at least 10 million when I'm 50 or 60, which would be awesome. But if it's worth only like 2 or 3, that's fine too. It's not my game plan. It is just a additional bonus. And I feel like people try to build their wealth through investing, through index funds, through real estate, whereas really you should see your business as your cash flow vehicle and investing as just a way to store that wealth. That's all it is. Your greatest investment is your business. Your greatest investment is yourself. Again, that's why I've spent $150,000, right, of my own money. People take pride in a college education. I'm just going to call this out, hopefully again from a place of humility, but people spend $60,000 on education. They think they're educated. I've spent, nearly actually over double that of my own cash, not taking out a loan, actually paying in cash up front for this help from business profits to continue to grow. And that has been inarguably the most profitable investment I've ever done, because if you look at the public education system and how taxes are, funding that, and as well as they're basically the government's starting to own colleges. They've got an agenda with what they're teaching you. They're extremely tax efficient business models, and they have a lot of they're really controlled by the government. They don't have a lot of say in what is taught colleges. The private owners of the college kind of has to submit to the government because they get a lot of tax benefits that way. And so they don't actually have a reason to teach you skills that will make you money. There's no profit incentive for them to teach good stuff in a majority of cases. And so that's why I honestly think true privatized education is working with individuals who are where you want to be or who are a few steps ahead of you, and just working with them. And that's again why we do what we do. But that's my problem with Millionaire Next Door, is it's almost talking to that crowd. It's, you've gone to college, you've gotten a degree, you're a doctor, and now you're going to save. And again, that's fine. That is, I'm not throwing any shade at that. It takes just as much grit and hard work and perseverance and consistency to do that as it takes to run a business. But at the same time, I can honestly say that, the internet has made things so obnoxiously easy that, I know it sounds braggy, I know it sounds boastful, but this month, again, I've brought in maybe 80 to 85,000 in profit myself personally. And gosh, I've had such a light workload. I've really just kind of enjoyed the process. I've probably worked, this month is one of those months where I haven't pushed very hard. It's just kind of been maybe 3 hours a day of some, of some, the occasional sales call will come in that my team, wants me to take. And then, I've got a few coaching calls with some of our higher level clients that, are doing 100, 200,000 a month and want to scale, or doing 20,000 a month, want to get to 6 figures a month. Right. And then I've got the occasional group call with our community that, I serve there, once, maybe twice a week. I'll spend an hour or two with them. And really, it's just been super light work. And I think it's because business, as opposed to a job, gives you the opportunity to build leverage underneath yourself in the form of team, in the form of deployed capital, in the form of, the right connections, the right audiences you're speaking in front of. And I just think that that's a valuable resource that we don't really quite count in our culture. We really just say, oh, hard work, quote unquote, hard work will inevitably make you money. But hard work is just a form of leverage, just like the right people and the right connections and capital and a good, understanding of business in your head from the right investments into coaches and mentors and the right books in your head. All of that's leverage as well. So hard work should actually be your foundational plan to implement those forms of leverage. So you should work hard to implement leverage and then use that leverage to create more leverage. Not in the form of debt, but in the form of actually deploying your capital properly and actually, putting out the right content, speaking to the right people, selling the right clients, getting them great results, letting those results speak for themselves, bringing in more clients. It really is like business is just this infinite leverage cycle, whereas working a job, even if you make $400K a year, I wouldn't trade places with you, because there is ultimately a ceiling there unless you're willing to climb the corporate ladder, which could take, a decade or two. I think you have more leverage in business as long as you're willing to be creative. So that's my problem with the book Millionaire Next Door. Breaking it down. Hopefully this was a valuable video for you. I would still encourage you to read it. I think everybody should read the Millionaire Next Door. But as I was going through this, I was just reading it. I'm like, man, this is just this isn't advice for entrepreneurs. This is not advice for entrepreneurs. This is advice for your everyday 9-to-5 worker, which, again, those people probably need this advice. If your financial plan is to get a nice job, then this book is going to serve you very, very well. But if you are wanting to, speed up the financial process and you're wanting to, do something, impactful with your time on a greater scale, which again, this is not me down talking jobs. I think jobs are honestly a great path. If you can find a good job, do it and serve extremely well in that career, because ultimately you are a business owner and you've got one client, and that's your boss, right? And maybe the clients that you serve under your boss. So you are a business owner, but you are the business, and you're getting paid for your input, right, into a bigger system of business or corporation above you. And so that's fine. You are still a respectable entrepreneur in your own right, business owner in your own right, but you operate with a ceiling, and it's harder for you to leverage what you might have. With myself, every piece of the business that I've got, I can leverage. I can leverage all the capital. I can leverage all the reputation. I can leverage all of the connections, all the relationships. I can leverage all the results we've gotten. I can build a new funnel, get more sales calls. I can run a promotion to our email list anytime. And I just print money for myself because we've got such a great system on the back. And I just don't think people understand how incredible the internet has made being a business owner. It really is like having a money printing machine. You literally feel like the Fed. It's just like I click the button and money comes out the other side. And I hope that doesn't sound too much like a scheme or a gimmick, but I just feel like our culture has this idea that money needs to come with work, and I don't think that's true at all. I think money is in direct proportion to the amount of value that you or your leverage, your team, or your system has added to the market. I was working with one of my clients. He's stuck at about like 20 to 30,000 a month, and the path to get him to 150,000 a month is literally just 2 or 3 few key changes to his team, his offer, and just the way that he handles his daily workload. He's doing too much inside of the business, and I just told him, look, we dug deeper and deeper, and it turned out that his problem was that he grew up like me in the Midwest, and there's this idea that, like, you know, you need to work hard you need to toil for your reward, and it was like there's this shame involved in like not having to work that hard for money. It was like he like almost felt the need to have to work hard for money, and it was interesting that was actually an extremely limiting thought for him. And we're working through that now, because the reality is, if I were running his business, I'd get it to 150K a month in profit within 4 weeks. I mean, there's just so much opportunity for this guy. You know, he's built relationships the way that we coach. He's got leverage the way that we coach. He's built a $10,000 offer that has already sold a few copies, and it's doing very well for his clients. His clients are happy. It's easy to sell. We helped them build that together. And now he's stuck, not because the opportunity isn't there, but because he's kind of adopting the mentality that books like this, I think, and this is my final problem with the book, that books like this will instill into you, which is you have to be patient, you have to work hard, and you have to stay consistent over a long period of time to make money. And I just don't think that that's actually true. Not because those principles aren't good, but because the internet has changed the way that humans communicate. And business, at the end of the day, is, you know, two humans or groups of humans coming together to exchange currencies for different services or guarantees or products or involvement in certain projects or who knows what, right? At the core of it, that's what it is. And the internet has sped up the process at which we can build those relationships and make those asks for that business. So hopefully this valuable video. I'm going to end it here. I feel like there's so many tangents I could go down in this topic, and there's a lot of directions where this video could head, but hopefully this is a valuable paradigm shift for some of you. I really think if there's one core affirmation that you should bring home, or one core idea, it's that a business truly is a money printing machine. That is what it is. It is a money printing machine if you can get out of your own way, remove the unnecessary bottlenecks in your process, and scale up your marketing, sales, and delivery processes to fit the market need. At that point, the only bottleneck is your market. And to be honest, if you're doing less than 50 million a year, then you probably haven't tapped out your market. I mean, that's just, most markets are at least there. I mean, there's just not that many markets that aren't at least 50 million a year that you could make a full-time income in, right? I mean, that's just base. You know, even if you're doing something extremely niche, I challenge you to find somebody who's doing 10 times the revenue as you. I guarantee you can find them within an hour or two of Google searching, and you're gonna realize, holy cow, I keep thinking I'm tapped out, but I'm absolutely not tapped out. There's so much further I could go. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next video.